Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, June the 28th, 2024. Friday, June the 28th. Well, of course, we knew it. Jason, Carly calls Jason. He comes over, and the first thing out of her mouth is, I know. And he's like, okay, you know what? I know what the FBI was holding over you to have you gone. And he's looking like, what? Because he wasn't giving it up. It's me. It's me when I took over, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, who told you? No, how did you find out? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. Who told you? She didn't even hesitate. Sam. Sam had a recording and she played it for me. And I just had no idea. Of course, she's angry that I'm the reason why and blah, blah, blah. So Jason is like, okay, and how did Sam get a hold of it? And Cardi looked at him and said, how do you think? And he's thinking, she goes, Spinelli. He hacked in. And Jason's like, to the FBI's database. They couldn't erase the file, or he couldn't erase the file. Jason goes, good, because they would have noticed that. But all they could do is he made a copy, of the audio. And Jason just looked at her. So then, they took, how can I'm the reason you chose me. Why did you choose me over your kids? And he's like, because Carly, it wasn't like choosing you over them. This needed to be done. And this was something that I could do. Right? He says, and I'm going to tell you, he says, I thought it was only going to last for 6 months. And then 6 months turned into a year turned into almost 3. He says, but I'm going to tell you something, Carly. Not at one point did I ever think of bailing, ever. And so she goes, I can't let you do this. I'm gonna, turn myself in. He's like, wait a minute, you gonna what? Oh, no, you're not. He goes, you are not gonna have what I have done this whole almost 3 years be for nothing, And she looked and he says, I'm not the one they're after, it's you. And Carly, if you turn yourself in, you will go to federal prison. 20 years. Jocelyn and Michael would have to bring Donna to see you. And by the time you get out, Donna is a grown woman. He says, how do you think it's fair for her? How do you think she would feel? Knowing you choosing to go to prison. So I don't have to complete a job. I'm not in jeopardy of jail. You are. And she's just like, but he's Carly, but nothing. You're not thinking. And so she says, well, I've already talked to, and he goes, talk to who else? And she goes, Diane. Diane is looking into building a case. And he goes, yeah, okay. And what percentage did Diane feel she could be successful? He says 0. She goes 30. He goes 30%. That's nothing, Carly. And that was a high speculation on Diane's part. It'll be less than 30. I don't care how good Diane is. He says, let me finish this. Okay? And then she goes, okay. Because he goes, I would feel guilty. And she goes, why would you feel guilty? Because I did not complete the job, Carly. I didn't keep you out of jail if you do this. And I'm going to feel guilty. So he goes, okay, fine. Wiping her tears. And I'm like, well, Carly ain't go. She said fine to Spinelli. She said fine to Diane. She still got it stuck in her head, right? Not more than 2 minutes later, she goes, well, how am I supposed to live with the fact that they're holding this over your head because of me and you lost all this time? He goes, what's done is done, and I've chosen to do this. He says, you know, your life you have here with Bobby's, the Metro Court, the life with your kids, that will all be gone, Carly, all of it. I'm just saying, don't do anything. And so she goes, well, he goes, just a minute ago, you said you agreed. She goes, well, I've changed my mind. Carly can be her own worst enemy. But in the grand scheme of soap opera writing, we all know Carly is not about to do that because Carly Corinthos is not going to jail. Okay? So she's not about to do that. But she's, my Jesus, get out of here. Now, she wasn't all broken up. Yeah, she was broken up. Remember, Drew got sentenced to 3 years when they thought it would be 6 months, right? It's supposed to be a slap on the face, but the judge tried to make an example out of Drew. Carly wasn't saying then, I'm just going to turn myself in. Drew had already pleaded, took the plea for her. Jason's not doing jail time. Jason was out and about free, really. Okay, but you willing to now just go to jail for Jason, then what Drew did for you would be for nothing, Carly. For nothing. So anyway, then we have Sonny and Natalia. They're meeting for a drink up at the poolside. Nobody's there but him. So I guess, Sonny pulls some strings because the pool is closed at that time. So it's just him and Natalia. And he tells her that, Ava's gone. She's moved out, gone, good riddance. He goes, I don't know what I was thinking. There was a reason for her living there, but, he goes, really, that reason is long gone. And Ava is volatile. He goes, the people that I thought I could trust, I'm just finding out. He goes, I always knew I really couldn't trust Ava, but I started to rely on her. He said, there's one. So Natalia says, I didn't think she seemed like the one that got away. He goes, oh, absolutely not. He said, the one person that I thought would always have my back no matter what turned on me. And then it's they, the family, they've turned on me. So I already know I can't just trust people, So she goes, wow. So then they were talking about, she's had some relationships that got away and, they're just chit chat talking. And he told her, look, Ava is she could be dangerous, volatile. He said, Natalia, just do me a favor, stay away from her. She goes, I've had a conversation with her and yeah, I will make sure I cross the other side of this, look the other way if I run across her again. But look, that recording's getting ready to come out and Natalia's going to have some explaining to do. Okay, she's going to have some definite explaining to do. Brooklyn got a chance to talk to Chase. He got home and they had a heart to heart. And she told him what Tracy said, how Monica and Olivia offered the room for Violet. She needs the stability for the 90 days that Finn is going to be gone. And they talked it over and Chase agreed. He agreed to move their stuff in because he's like, well, we could get a bigger place. He goes, she needs stability now. And it could take us some time to get a bigger place. And it's not just us here that can help her. And Gio had come down. He wanted to practice. And he said Violet had heard him tuning and she got lost going back to her room and he helped her back to her room. And so Chase went to go check on her. And when he came back down, he says, no, it is important that there be a lot of people around to help Violet. So no, I agree. We should move in here and I'll start moving our stuff tomorrow. So that's good. We're going to be able to see all of them under one roof, which is a really, really good thing. So now we have Ava calls Laura over, which is really interesting to me. Now, Laura had a soft spot for Ava, but Laura never found out that Ava thought she had killed Nicholas and hid his body, and none of that Laura knows, right? Laura doesn't know because Ava told her half a story. She goes, I didn't think you were living at the Metro Court. And she goes, as of this morning. Oh, and now she goes, it just was getting too dangerous staying at Sonny's. He is so irrational. He's dangerous. I could not stay there any longer. And he's like not living in reality. And so Laura's like, I've noticed a big change in him over the last few months. And so she says, because Laura thought Ava was calling her over to talk about Nicholas when, how, Laura? Ava and Nicholas are divorced. You want to know about your son, take your behind to Pentonville. There's nothing, look, she sure spent a whole lot of time going up to see Heather, right? Why wouldn't you go see your son? He's right there, Pentonville. So anyway, that's when Ava says, no, it's about, Sonny. And she goes, Ava, it's been my opinion or my knowledge that usually you're no victim. What did you do to cause Sonny to put you out this morning? Oh, you know how Christina is. Christina blew something way all out of proportion, and Sonny took her side, and it just had no merit. See, she didn't say what it was, even though if Laura would have found out I was the one that caused Alexis Davis to lose her, I don't know how Laura would react to that, because according to Laura, she would have, she would have perjured herself. So, you never know where Laura's going to stand. But Ava made sure that never came up. I said, now, even though Sonny and Christina are supposed to have been on the outs after what happened at the wedding. And Laura said, wait a minute, what wedding? And so Ava said, Chase and Brooklyn's wedding. She goes, oh, yeah. Chase and Brooke, that's right. Chase and Brooklyn's wedding. And she goes, what happened at the wedding? And she goes, you didn't know? Sonny lost control and he beat someone bad. And Laura looked at Ava and said, what? She goes, I never heard about that. Of course not. Sonny gets everything pushed under the rug. And she goes, who did he assault? And Ava says, I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. Because she knew, had Laura gone back, gone to Anna, gone to Dex, they decided not to press charge. It's not mayor business, right? But Ava wanted, to make it like, oh, Sonny did that, and just really. So she's like, oh. She goes, but okay, Ava, you obviously, there's a reason you brought me here. What is it? Well, you're right. She goes, Sonny is taking me to court. He is trying to take my daughter from me. And I cannot leave her. Sonny's dangerous. I can't leave my daughter in his care. Oh, but Carly was overreacting, right? She sure has left Avery, Sonny, do whatever he wants with Avery now when she's living there. He's so irrational, you know exactly why. Why would you even let him take her to the pool? So Laura says, ooh, and I guess, my guess is what, you want me to be a character witness for you? She goes, I just need, Laura, you said we were like family. And if you would stand up for me, help, me fight against Sonny taking my child, I really would appreciate it. So Laura says, well, if I had to choose between your daughter staying with you or staying with Sonny, I would choose you, Ava. So she goes, so can I count on you? So she goes, yes. And she goes, okay, Scott will be calling you. And Laura, if I hear anything from Nicholas, I will let you know, right? So Laura says, okay. And I'm like, well, Sonny ain't gonna like that, but he's not liking anything Laura's doing. And That's still not going to amount to anything, right? But I don't know. You have the mayor vouching for you. That could pull some weight. It really, really could. Because if Ava can get full custody, it's going to be hard for Sonny to get full custody of Avery, especially a fresh ruling. He can't just come right back and get that overturned. So that's going to be something, everybody. So last but not least, we have Christina talking to Blaze. And she's saying, Blaze, about the problems, Molly and Christina. I mean, TJ and Molly, they could be breaking up. And Blaze says, Christina, couples argue and make up all the time. She goes, now I know you're saying, but not Molly and TJ. She goes, Molly and TJ are not perfect. So yes, Molly and TJ. Now, mind you, Christina has not talked to her sister since that day. And we all know for right now, TJ's being irrational. I'm being rational. So they are, Molly and TJ are on the same page again, right? So Christina's like, no, but look, no, I have to prepare. They could be okay now. They could be okay a year from now. But what happens if after that they break up? And I thought, wait a minute, Christina, you and Blaze may not even be together 6 months from now. Who can say, oh, this married couple's gonna stay married for 10 years? Who could say that? She goes, I have to keep custody, or I have to at least make sure I have rights to my baby. Because if TJ takes it, Molly won't have any access to this child. And if I keep my rights as the mother, my sister will have access to this child. And so Blaze says, okay, I see you're thinking, but are you doing this so that access? You mean so that your sister could raise this child? Or what are you talking, Christina? She goes, well, no, I mean, if I get custody, I can't just hand the baby over. Oh, there you go. Right? There you go. And Blaze looked at her. She goes, and what got them thinking is Christina's talking on this train of thought. Christina is hiring a new manager for her project, her center. And Blaze is like, why would you need to do this? You're perfectly capable of running it yourself. And it's about to open. And Christina says, yeah, but you know what? I'm going to have the baby. So why would I start with it and then have to take a leave of maternity leave, take an absence for maternity leave? And Blaze said, wait, maternity leave? Isn't a maternity leave for a mother bonding with her baby? Because she's saying, oh, 12 weeks. She goes, wait, but you won't be raising this. Molly and TJ would be bonding with this baby. Wouldn't you need to take what's medically necessary for a woman having a baby? She goes, 6 weeks. Well, wouldn't you be taking 6 weeks off? That's nothing. She goes, and then that's when she goes, wait a minute, Christina, what are you actually talking about? And that's when Christina says it. And she goes, remember, Blaze, you said that you wish this baby was ours? And I thought, yeah, you did, stupid. Just said it to her. And Blaze looks at her, and then Christina's like, so what, did you mean it? Would you want to co-parent this baby with me? And Blaze was honest with her. She says, Christina, do I want children someday? Probably, sure. But right now, with where my career is at, just starting to take off, now is not the time for me to be co-parenting or raising a child. So no, I hope this doesn't disappoint you. And Christina looks, no, it doesn't. And you can see it all in her face. It did. It does, Christina. Right? She goes, but still, even if I have to do this on my own, I have to put the best interest of this child first. And this is and I've already had paperworks that I could file. I mean, hypothetically, I could file them to get this rolling. And Blaze is just looking at her like, wow. So Christina's see, she's always been this way. She doesn't listen to anyone. She only thinks and does what she wants to do. And we all knew she's going to want to keep this baby. Now, why Molly thought she could go crying to her sister when it would have been Sam she would have talked to. Why would you go talk to Christina? And you haven't been back to talk to Christina to say, you know what, sis, thanks for being there. I was so wound up. I'm sorry, but TJ and I, we have made up. We're on the same page and blah, blah, blah. So the last thing Christina knows is what Molly told her. And that's the last thing Christina wants to know. She does not want to know nothing else. So she could soothe her conscience in doing what she's getting ready to do. So we'll see. We all knew this was going to happen, and it is happening. And hey, whatever. It's just going to make for interesting soap watching, right? So let's go to comment corner. I'm going to start from the top and go down to the bottom. User Easy says, Lucky, go back where you were and stay there. I hope he doesn't make Jason cry. Jason really deserves a break with those boys. For one, Lucky could never make Jason cry, ever, right? Ever. And Jake is grown enough to make his own choices. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Jason has been gone for how many years? 2.5? 2.5 years? Almost 3? How long has Lucky been gone, everybody? Remember when Lucky left? He was going to go find himself just out there, right? So who would little Aiden, he ain't little anymore, who would teenage Aiden be mad at? Who would Jake or should Jake be mad at? It should be Lucky way more than it's Jason, because Lucky by choice has been gone way longer and chose not to be a father to either of those boys. So anyway, Aisha says, has Sonny's downward spiral been put on pause? For the past week or so, Sonny hasn't seemed manic or paranoid at all. This may be due to the ever-changing writers, or could it be the calm before the storm? Or maybe it's because he steered clear of the traitors in his life. I'm surprised at Ava's failure to read the room and know her place. You'd think Sonny having Natalia over for drinks and refusing to take Ava to the wedding were clear indications that her so-called insider status wasn't the all-access pass she expected it to be. Being one-on-one with a manic or a paranoid Sonny who welcomed her input which basically consisted of her pouring him drinks and propping up his ranting and ravings, doesn't translate to tangible influence and elevated status in the cold light of day. That is so true. When Sonny was engaging with the world outside of the penthouse, and Ava's too smart not to have known this. Yeah, that's true. Given that Ava's animosity got Alexis disbarred for the crime of ruining Julian, and Ava never ruins Julian, Sonny should be worried about what kind of payback that Ava has in store for the man who hunted down and killed her brother. Ron says, Dante should have gone off on Sam. She doesn't get it. Wait, she doesn't get it, and this would make things worse for him. She doesn't get it. This make things worse for him. She realizes that Spinelli is classified as a felon in the FBI's eyes. She don't care. And then Denzel says, love the scene between Jason and Daddy spending time together on GH's episode. Loved how Jason told Danny everything, including his car accident and what happened in 20 happened 28, 29 years ago. And I definitely love the scene between father and sons. Thank you, Michael Easton, for your 10 years as Finn. Well, it wasn't 10 years as Finn, 10 years in General Hospital, because remember, he's been playing multiple characters over the past 10 years. I hope Easton comes back as a different character. See, look, he could be on for 20 years, right? On GH, or as John McBain, the detective from One Life to Live, in my opinion. Love Little Violet and Finn scenes definitely was a heartbreaking scene. Finn and Chase's scene too. Great review, daily recaps like always. Thank you, Denzel. Lisa says, isn't Ava a cheap one? Only paying Gio $100 for the whole night? She at first thought it was great that he knows and appreciates Sonny. Now that Sonny found out she was up to her old tricks and trying to get Alexis over Julian, Gio's paying for it. No, Ava was just going to be cheap anyway, period. Sonny hadn't kicked her out. I'm surprised she tried to take advantage of him like that. Cindy says the rate should be $100 per hour. Exactly. Lisa says Ava is not a very intensive of a mother for Avery, neither is Sonny. Together, they take care of Avery. Mainly the nanny raises Avery, which is true. Alfred says, Violet is amazing. I love her. That little girl can act. I will be looking for her winning something next year's awards. Violet, the actress that plays Violet, she is also on another show. I see it on Hulu. It's called Will Trent. She is one of the detectives in the police department. She's his daughter. So she is already getting other acting jobs aside from General Hospital. And you could tell. That's just like Nicholas Chavez. You could tell those that are meant for more. And that little actress that plays, I think her name is JoJo. JoJo, that plays Violet, she definitely is. Lisa says, I hope Carly listens to Diane, which she won't. Alexis won't stand up for someone she knows broke the law as hard as Diane does. That's true. Diane looks at, this is my job and I'm going to do the best job I can. Alexis is really going by the law. She should be more for fighting against people breaking the law. Sasha and Brando were great together. User OK says, I realize Elizabeth lost Franco and Finn. She has never had luck with men in this soap. She is a legacy character, but we have to fix her. They have to fix her crappy life. Lisa says, Sam has run her mouth about Jason protecting Carly. If anyone has to go to prison, it should be Sam. The con artist Sam got Spinelli, Carly, and Dante in the middle of her wanting information on how Jason is involved with Kate. I know, the nosy woman. Sam only dug herself in deeper by getting the information on Jason. She is not very smart. No, she's not. And then Lucy says, if I were Dante, I would really be mad at Sam. First, for caring so much that she'd risk her and Spinelli's freedom just to know what was up with Jason. Good thing Dante isn't the jealous type, or is he? Dacia says, Jason never told anyone why he was working for the FBI. Sam took it upon herself to get Spinelli involved and break the law. Lucy says, why did Spinelli do it anyway? For his fair Samantha? I thought he was a smarter guy. She did. If we got to do this for Dan, we've got to do this for Jason. I don't want nothing to happen to Danny's father. She lied to Spinelli to get him to do it. User OC says, Ava Jerome could buy the house next to Carly's house. And then Lisa says, it would be wrong for Ava to buy Connie's house after she murdered her. I hadn't thought about that because, yes, she did. Sonny would never sell it to her because she did murder Connie. They would not sell it to her for any amount of money. Not they. Carly doesn't own it. Sonny does, and he would not. Lucy says, too bad Ava sold Spoon Island in Windermere. I didn't like her at Spoon Island or Windermere. I think that's too dangerous for a woman to be there alone anyway. Sherry says, so tired of waiting for the writers to get Joss and Dex back together again. I could care less about Joss and Dex. Together for good. And then that's it. That's it, everybody, for Comment Corner. Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.